Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Sunday, March 19, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Sam Houston State vs North Texas. Both teams have been strong ATS all season and very strong ATS of late. North Texas has the privilege of being home for this one, but how much of a privilege is it for them? They have gone 7-6 ATS at home this season, while Sam Houston is 10-6 ATS on the road. This Sam Houston team did pull off early season straight-up wins over majors Oklahoma and Utah, so they are battle-tested. The Bearcats hold their opponents to 38.8% shooting overall, and the Mean Green is not a strong shooting team to begin with. The North Texas offense is last in scoring in their own conference, going up against a defense that is one of only 5 in the country, allowing under 60 points per game. Of course, North Texas is one of those teams as well, and in fact, they top that list allowing just 55.6 points per game, but opponents have shot 39.5% overall against them. These two have faced each other 7 times, with North Texas going 5-2 straight up and 4-0 at home. The Mean Green won their last meeting, 65-55, back in December of 2021, but it was the Bearcats with a win ATS as -11.5 underdogs on the road. I think this is going to be an extremely close game and truly could go either way, though should at least be tight enough to be confident in this election. Take the Bearcats plus 4.5 points. This total is so small you might need a magnifying glass to find it. Yet it is highly justified due in large part to the defenses at work here. Of the 5 teams in the country allowing under 60 points per game, we have 2 of them here. KenPom's tempo ratings have Sam Houston at 320th and North Texas at 353rd. The Bearcats have held 8 of their last 9 opponents to under 60 points. The Mean Green kept 5 of their last 6 opponents under 60, including tallies of 46 and 33. On the season these two have had a combined 33 games go over. Combined these two teams have allowed an average of 111.2 points per game over their last 5 games. Take the under. Michigan State vs Marquette. The Golden Eagles have won 10 straight games. They are very good offensively, scoring more than 79 points per game while making 49% of their shots. They've taken advantage of their opportunities at the charity stripe, making over 77% of their free throws in their last 3 games. They do a good job finding the open man and they're aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring chances. They also do a good job protecting the ball and won't give the Spartans a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Spartans usually play well defensively, but they struggled in recent games, giving up more than 69 points per game in their last 3 games, so expect them to have a hard time slowing down the Golden Eagles in this game. The Spartans have won 3 of their last 4 games. They are playing well offensively, scoring more than 71 points per game in their last 3 games. But they struggled at the charity stripe, making less than 70% of their free throws during that span. Their rebounding has been good and will keep them in this game, but they've been careless with the ball on the road, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Golden Eagles, who average more than 9 steals per game. The Golden Eagles did a great job defensively in recent games, holding their last 3 opponents to 60 points per game, and won't have trouble keeping Michigan State's offense in check. Go with Marquette to cover the spread. Our team pick is Marquette Golden Eagles minus 2.5 points. When looking at the last 3 games, these programs are playing a lot more methodically, as Marquette is averaging 63.9 possessions per game, while Michigan State is averaging just 64.5 possessions per game in that stretch. Both defenses have been doing a solid job in terms of limiting good shots against them, as the Golden Eagles are 187th in the nation, with a 44.5 field goal percentage against, while the Spartans are 42nd in NCAA, with a 42 opposing field goal percentage. The under has hit in previous 4 Golden Eagles games, so go with under 140.5 points in this game. Stetson vs Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Milwaukee has lost 4 of their last 6 games against the spread. Stetson has won 3 of their last 5 games against the spread and 6 of the last 9. The Hatters have a winning record, 10-7, in road games against the spread this season. Stetson has been very effective in defending the 3-point shot and may be able to take away one of Milwaukee's primary weapons. Most of the trends point toward a Stetson victory on Sunday. Look for the Hatters to cover. Stetson has gone over the point total in 7 of the last 8 games, and they have scored 75 or more points in 5 of their last 6. Milwaukee has gone over the point total in 3 of their last 4 games and has scored 81 or more points in each game during that period. Milwaukee and Stetson currently rank 13th and 281st in pace of play, respectively. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair. Look for this game to go over. Indiana Hoosiers vs Miami Hurricanes. Nigel Pack led the way for the Miami offense with 21 points on 15 shots and 35 minutes of action. Wooga Poplar added 15 points on 10 shots, and Norchad Omier scored a third-best 12 points to go along with a team-high 14 rebounds in 36 minutes of action. Miami star Isaiah Wong scored only 5 points after making just 1 of 10 shots, but added 6 rebounds and 2 assists in 35 minutes to help with the win. The Indiana Hoosiers come into the second round Sunday with 23 wins on the year, following a double-digit victory against Kent State Friday night. Defensively, Indiana controlled the game, allowing just 60 points on 31.9% shooting and forced 9 turnovers in 40 minutes as well. Offensively, Indiana dominated, scoring 71 points on 46.8% shooting, and the Hoosiers made 5 long balls and pulled in 39 rebounds in the victory as well. Both teams come into Sunday off big wins, but Indiana will have the slight edge in this matchup. The Hoosiers will have the best player on the floor, and Miami will struggle to contain him. Look for the Hoosiers to continue to let Jackson Davis lead the way as he carries them into the second weekend. Our team pick is Indiana Hoosiers minus 1.5 points. Trace Jackson Davis led the way for Indiana with 24 points and 11 rebounds on 10 of 17 shooting in the game. Race Thompson chipped in 20 points and 9 rebounds on 11 shots, while Miller Kopp scored a third-best 13 points on 9 shots as the third Indiana player in double figures. The other 2 Indiana starters struggled, combining to score only 10 points, while the Indiana bench only mustered 4 points in 40 minutes as well. Our total pick is over 145.5 points. St. Mary's vs Connecticut. The Gales are 0-5 at TS in their last 5 games, following an ATS win, and 1-5 at TS in their last 6 games, following a straight-up win. The Huskies are 7-1 at TS in their last 8 games following a straight-up win, 5-1 at TS in their last 6 games versus a team with a winning percent above .600, and 6-1 at TS in their last 7 games overall. The bet I'm pursuing is UConn minus 3.5. The Huskies impressed me on Friday, outscoring the Gales by a wide margin in the second half. They loan a rebounding advantage again on Sunday, earning extra possessions and holding the slow-paced Gales to fewer possessions. Sonogo played like a monster on Friday, 28 points and 13 boards, and won't be held back by this Gales squad. Our team pick is Huskies minus 3.5 points. Number 5 St. Mary's and number 4 UConn have 2 of the premier defenses in college hoops this year, so I'm siding with the under here. In terms of defensive efficiency, the Gales are 8th overall, limiting the opposition to just 91.3 points per 100 possessions. The Huskies are 19th, sitting at 94.0 in the metric. As for defensive shooting, UConn is 30th, 40.9% opposing field goal percentage, while St. Mary's is 38th, 41.4%. On top of that, neither program is in a rush to push the pace when they have the ball. UConn is 214th in tempo, using just 66.6 possessions per 40 minutes, while St. Mary's is 359th at 61.7. If St. Mary's wants to keep this game close, they need to keep the ball out of UConn's possession and melt away as much clock as possible. This leads me to believe we're in for a very slow game between 2 great defenses. Give me the under. Creighton vs Baylor. Does Baylor have anyone that can stop Ryan Kalkbrenner? Unlike North Carolina State, they have the size, with starter Flo Thamba, but I don't think he's good enough to hang with Kalkbrenner. If he gets in foul trouble, Baylor's options are either a freshman or a size mismatch. Unlike certain schools, Creighton knows how to feed their big men when they've got a good matchup. Then there's Creighton's 3-point shooting, which is due to improve significantly from their Thursday performance. Baylor's defense is much worse than Creighton's, and their offensive output won't be able to offset that against another dangerous offensive squad. The spread is only 1 point, so the best value is in taking Creighton to win straight up. Our team pick is Creighton plus 1 points. Both teams had their opening round games go under, and that is the pick I am leaning towards in this game. Creighton held their opponent to 37.5% shooting in the last game, and while Baylor allowed their opponent to shoot 46.9% shooting, they held them to only 56 points. The Bears shot a solid 54.9% in the last game, but did not light up the scoreboard, putting up 74 points. On the other side of the coin, Creighton shot 46.4% and scored 72 points. Neither team ran much in the last game, and the Blue Jays will slow the pace and keep the Bears from getting out on the run. That is the main reason the under is the pick in the second round matchup. Take the under 145.5 points. UCF vs Oregon. Defense travels, and the Knights showed that in their first round game against Florida. They thwarted a Gators team easily as Florida shot less than 40% from the field. UCF did enough on the offensive end to get the win, but doing it on the road was even more impressive, and that is why I am taking the Knights over Oregon. Their defense will stop an average Oregon team on Sunday. The Knights have a strong scorer in Kelly that can lead the team in a hostile environment. Take UCF plus 3.5 points. UCF will control this game from the beginning, which means this will be a low-scoring affair dictated by defense. The Knights are one of the best defensive teams in the NIT, and they will show it on Sunday. The under is 4-1 in the Knights' last 5 road games. The under is 4-1 in the Ducks' last 5 Sunday games. Take the under 137.5 points. Fairleigh Dickinson vs Florida Atlantic. The Knights have won 5 of their last 6 games. They are playing well offensively, scoring more than 70 points per game in their last 3 games. They've also taken advantage of their opportunities at the charity stripe, making over 75% of their free throws during that span. They rebound the ball well, and they're aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring chances. They've also done a good job protecting the ball and won't give the Owls a lot of easy scoring opportunities. Even though the Owls are playing well defensively, they will have a hard time slowing down the Knights in this game. The Owls have won 8 straight games. They usually play well offensively, but they struggled in recent games, scoring less than 70 points in 2 of their last 3 games. Their ball movement wasn't very good during that span, but they did a good job rebounding the ball, which will keep them in this game. Even though they do a good job protecting the ball, they are facing a team that loves to force turnovers and is averaging more than 7 steals per game, so expect the Knights to get some easy scoring opportunities against them. The Knights played well defensively in their last 3 games, holding opponents under 63 points per game, and won't have trouble keeping Florida Atlantic's offense in check. Go with the Knights to cover the spread. These defenses as of late have been showing they are going to be nowhere near this number, as Fairleigh Dickinson is giving up 59 points in their last 4 games, while the Florida Atlantic are allowing 61.8 points in their previous 5 games. Neither program has been necessarily pushing the pace of the game too much, as the Owls are 163rd in the nation with 70.3 possessions per game, while the Knights are sitting at 116th in the entire sport with 71.4 possessions per game. The under has hit in the last 4 Knights and Owls games respectively, so go with under 150.5 points in this game as well. Miami, Florida vs Indiana. This Midwest region clash between number 4 Indiana and number 5 Miami offers up a great forward battle between the Hoosiers' Trace Jackson-Davis and the Hurricanes' Norchad Omier. However, when the dust settles, I think Indiana will do enough to win and cover in this game. For starters, there are still questions lurking about Omier's ankle injury. While he played 36 minutes in the first round win, suiting up twice in 48 hours may be a tall task. It may not be a deciding factor, but it could slow him down in a huge matchup with the All-American Jackson-Davis. Furthermore, we saw Drake shut down Isaiah Wong in the opener, holding him to just 5 points on a 10% shooting night. It won't get any easier for the Canes' backcourt as they're running into an Indiana defense that's 23rd in defensive shooting, holding teams to a 40.6% field goal rate. If the Hoosiers can neutralize Wong and a less than 100% Omier, you have to wonder who will provide the offense for the Hurricanes. Let's ride with Indiana in this spot. Our team pick is Indiana Hoosiers minus 1.5 points. Further elaborating on the Indiana pick above, the initial reason why I like the over is due to Miami's below-average defense. They're just 112th in adjusted defensive efficiency, surrendering 102.1 points per 100 possessions. As for defensive shooting, they're 222nd in the country, allowing opponents to hit 44.8% of their shots. That will not bode well against an Indiana side that's 9th overall in field goal percentage this year, making 48.9% of their shots. I don't think it's unreasonable that the Hoosiers will potentially score into the low 80s in this one, forcing the Hurricanes to try and keep pace. Neither of these teams is particularly slow, as Miami is 101st in tempo, 68.9 possessions per 40 minutes, and Indiana is 145th, 68.0. I'm expecting an offensive clinic from Indiana on Sunday, which should lead us into a higher scoring affair. Let's take the over 145.5 points. Utah Valley vs Colorado. This one feels like an upset to me. Utah Valley is an excellent team that should have been playing in the NCAA tournament. They get a low seed because of their relatively easy conference, but they are a better team than Colorado. Utah Valley destroyed a good New Mexico team, while Colorado barely survived against a Seton Hall squad that really struggled down the stretch. Ultimately, Utah Valley's size will be too much for Colorado to handle, as they rank second in the nation in rebounds and first in blocked shots. Also, the Wolverines are 10-2 at TS in their last 12 road games versus a team with a winning home record. I like Utah Valley to win outright, so take them getting the points. Our team pick is Utah Valley plus 4.5 points. The Utah Valley Wolverines had an incredible season, going 26-8 overall and winning the WAC regular season title at 15-3. However, they were denied a ticket to the Big Dance after losing in the semifinals of the WAC tournament to Southern Utah, 89-88. So, here they are in the NIT and they looked good in their first round matchup, pounding the higher-seeded New Mexico Lobos on the road, 83-69. The Wolverines led the whole way and easily covered as a 5.5 underdog. Our total pick is over. TCU vs Gonzaga. While the Bulldogs are 0-6 at TS in their last 6 NCAA tournament games, that trend will not continue. They played a weaker team than TCU in the first round, but they shot the rock well, while the Horned Frogs only shot 35.5% from the floor. One of the main reasons TCU won is they were solid on the offensive glass. However, that will not happen to face a Gonzaga team that is a good rebounding one. The Zags have more scoring and more size, and they will control this game from the get-go. Only giving 4.5 points Gonzaga is the easy pick in the second round game. Take Gonzaga at 4.5 points. TCU has an under record of 4-0-1 in their last 5 games, and Gonzaga has an under record of 4-1 in their last 5 neutral site games. While the Bulldogs are the second highest scoring team in the nation, I am leaning towards the under in this game. The Horned Frogs shot poorly in their last game and look for that to happen again in this game. The Zags will have a decent shooting game, but TCU will look to slow the pace since they cannot keep up with Gonzaga in the scoring department. While not a very low scoring game, this game will not be a barn burner, and that added to a rather low total means the under is the pick for this game. Take the under 157.5 points.